running everywhere where we need to be running. Let me just get it properly running on everything. Then we can go from there. When you log in, just tell me if you can hear me. Just let me know if my sound is proper and everything is making sense. I just want to do the final checks. Then we can start the show properly. So just let me know, guys. Can you hear me? Is everything fine there? There's a few more things that I have to look out for when I'm doing this now. So please just let me know. Thank you, Ndivo, for the confirmation. Heaven. Okay, today's going to be a quickish show. I'm going to cover two basic topics, and then we're going to go into a little bit of a chat from a friend of the show. And then, yeah, we're going to go from there. Tonight, I'm not going to be live at 8. I'm going to be live at 9 because we're going to do a watch along of the Bafana Bafana game. So 9 o'clock tonight. Just remember. Okay, I think anything else that goes wrong from here we can fix later on. Let me start the show. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. I'm your host, George Mokwena. I do this show every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and also 8 p.m. In the evenings, Monday to Wednesday. Unless we have watch-alongs like tonight, where we're going to be watching the Bafana Bafana match together as they take on Ivory Coast at 9 p.m. Tonight. If you missed anything and you want to hear anything that's been talked about by my panel or myself in the past, they are available in full on Facebook and on YouTube. And yeah, you can watch all of the amazing things that my panels have been saying, man. Like, I don't want to brag, but this show has a lot of people that come on that are really cool. And yeah, so this is what I saw. I saw an article. Hey, am I jumping? What's going on? I saw an article about Cape Town SPURS. Man. Am I jumping, guys? You know what I'll do? Let me just do this. It's fine. I'll close these ones. Yeah. Okay. I saw an article that I want to read to you because it touches on a topic that we've spoken about a few times on the show. But you'll get it when I speak about it. Let me bring in this article, then I can speak about it. So, Cape Town SPURS are working day and night to find a venue for their DStv Premiership clash against Stellenbosch FC when the league resumes. SPURS has been using Athlone Stadium as their home venue and have in the past also used DHL Stadium. But the Urban Warriors, who find themselves at the bottom of the table, are sweating over getting a venue after the unavailability of both stadiums for the game scheduled on the 28th of October, as both venues will host different events on that day. The DHL Stadium will host a Bantu concert, while Athlone Stadium will host a women's rugby event. Stelly's home ground, Danny Craven Stadium, is also not available as they'll be hosting a rugby event on the day. SPURS normally spend approximately 200,000 in total cost for an away game. Now they'll have to pay for Stellenbosch as well because they're the home team, and the PSL rules stipulate that if a venue is more than 100 kilometers from the original venue, the cost must be covered by the home team. This is because the team is looking to take the game over to Princess Makoko Stadium or King Zwelithini Stadium for a Western Cape derby. The club tried to get Donny Craven, but it's not available. Nelson Mandela Bay is also not available. There are several venues in the Western Cape which were not approved by the PSL due to their standard, including 2 used for the Diski Challenge games, Iris Valley and UWC Stadium. So I wanted to speak about this because, again, we sit in a situation where a PSL team, part of the top league in the country, is finding it difficult to get a stadium. Earlier, we spoke about how Bafana has been saying that no, the reason why they take all their games, they keep their games in Gauteng, is because when they take their games out to other stadiums, it's too expensive, what. And now, here's the PSL team. So the question that I actually want to get at with this is, guys, what was 2010 for? You know, what was the stadiums that were built for if the teams that are here are going to struggle to get stadiums? If women's rugby events, if concerts, if things like that are going to take precedence over the league, then why do we have these stadiums? Should we be looking into ownership models where some stadiums fall under the PSL so that if there's situations like this, they can make sure that, guys, as in, we've opened up some spaces. Here are some of the stadiums that we own, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, and they go, okay, guys, if ever you find yourself in a situation where you don't have a venue, you can come play here. But we cannot, as the top league in the country, sit in a situation where these teams are struggling. Now look, the Western Cape Derby is going to be played in KZN should they find Princess Makoko and Kings Welletini Stadium available. And these are some of the things, man, in our football where you ask questions and you go, but guys, how do we struggle? How do we struggle? Stadium. Hey, these stadiums are beautiful. We built these things 2010, what. Right? And this is where, again, that ownership thing comes into it. If you don't know, municipalities own the stadiums and they lease them out to the teams, right? Which means that it's basically buy one, get one, buy a first come, first serve. Or even the situation of having to pay certain teams to move to that municipality to get in. We spoke about that yesterday. Yes, Rivo, look at SuperSport United. SuperSport United plays for Atteridgeville. Atteridgeville went through some issues. Sundowns renovated that stadium, but now SuperSport has to play in Polokwane. Because one, they don't have a stadium of their own that they can default to. The TUT Stadium, with the deal that they signed with Matatanta, is not good enough or big enough to host their games, right? So now can you imagine, here's a SuperSport team that has to travel 3 hours. 3 hours. I don't even know how they got that right, Rivo, to get the TUT Stadium, but asikho lapho. 3 hours in order to get to Polokwane. They travel as much time as the visiting team travels. So there's all these different issues. So this is what I want to speak about first today. When we look at this situation, how can we remedy this, and is this a proper thing? So if you want to add your voice to the show, for those who watched the show before and they're wondering where the voices come from, you have to be following me and join me live on TikTok. Then now, as I've said now, I will tell you that at the bottom of the screen, there's a button that says multi-guest. Click on the multi-guest button. Then you can join me. And we can speak about this this topic right here. Let's see who is here. Dela, how are you, my brother?
Ngibingelele uthi ngibingelele ipanel ngibingelele nama overthinkers la.
Dela, now Cape Town Spurs haina stadium, they can't get a stadium for this. What was the point of the stadiums that were built? What is the point of all that stuff? Ngoba now a concert is overtaking, a women's rugby event is overtaking, and maybe it's because we're playing late, but how do we sit in this situation?
I'm wondering why don't they use Isisa Tukashi Stadium in Quebec? I think it's in Tanzania. Isisa Tukashi Stadium. Because taking the Cape Town Derby to KZN, it doesn't make sense. But in other ways, I feel like the Cape Town Spurs is being sabotaged. Imagine paying for away team and Nigu Derby. So now we are paying for Stellenbosch, and now already you are struggling in the league. Well, we are there at the bottom, we are struggling. and now you are having problems about the stadium. So it's really something that I feel like Cape Town Spurs is being sabotaged by also their own municipality, because already yes, stadiums are owned by municipality, and the teams whenever they go to high stadium they pay for it. But now as a Cape Town team, you can't even like afford, like, okay, you can't even have a stadium to play in your own city. Imagine Kaizer Chiefs not being allowed to play FNP, not being allowed to play Dstv, not being allowed to play Orlando Stadium, or even Abo Ellis Park. It's not fair, because they can, yes, they can try and hide about some concerts and everything, but this is clear sabotage for Cape Town Spurs. This is written a sabotage. Yes, they can write everything that they want to me and say stadiums are not available, but the Cape Town has many stadiums available. Like they have many stadiums available. Like Kune Stadium is where they can just take this match there. Cause taking it derby to KZN, ama supporters, they won't even have the same number of supporters that they would get whenever their derby is there at Cape Town. So I feel like now organizers are not, I don't know, they are enough research. Oh, this is clear sabotage, because it's a Cape Town derby. Take a Cape Town derby to a Cape Town. A Cape Town derby must remain a Cape Town for the people of Cape Town, for the fans of Cape Town Spurs, for the fans of Stellenbosch. So taking it together, then it doesn't make sense. Just imagine Imazul and Colin Arrows playing a Cape Town stadium. I'm not going to fans as much. Now you have to consider traveling cost for our fans. Now our fans, they have to now travel to Cape Town to KZN. So it's gonna cost a lot of fans. So that's why I'm saying a lot of fans, they won't even pitch up to that because already it's overcost, like in terms of financial.
Should this start a conversation here, ownership, and maybe not teams owning the stadiums, but maybe saying PSL, SAFA, Onanama Stadium, I 2-3, somewhere spread out across the country, where if there is situations like this, the PSL teams can take preference.
You know, it's one of those topics that like ISAFA, they need to have they have their own stadium. Teams are allowed to own their stadium. Now we are post from the World Cup from FIFA 2010. We are one of the great hosts. We hosted matches, world class matches, but in some other way, big teams don't even own their own stadiums. Abana stadium, they have to rely on a stadium, a municipality. Like Leon, it doesn't even make sense. How can a big team not even own a stadium? Look at Real Madrid. They own Bernabeu. Barcelona, they own Spotify, Camp Nou. All of those teams, they own their stadium because Leo Male also helps revenue your team. But here in the PSL, no team that has its own stadium. The stadiums are owned by municipalities. And if the municipality decide, we're not going to rent the stadium for use in a concert, that means the team will face something similar to Cape Town Spurs, where they have to pay 200K for Stellenbosch. Imagine you are struggling, you're gonna pay 200K. So it's one of those things I don't understand. ISAFA as a board, how like if our teams are not owning their own stadiums. So it's one of those things which they really need to improve from them. Like I don't really understand.
Let me bring in Rivo. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good, thanks, and you? Thank you.
Here we are with the situation. Cape Town Spurs is about to play a game versus Stellenbosch, 28th October. They don't have a stadium. They can't find a stadium. The stadiums that are in and around Cape Town are all taken by events. They can't even get it Danny Craven. Now they might even have to go all the way to KZN. How do you feel about the stadium situation, especially for the PSL, especially with a lot of stadiums being built specifically for South African football, allegedly? Now we're sitting here.
But are they all, how many stadiums does Cape Town have? The province, Cape Town, Western Cape, how many stadiums do they? They have a lot of stadiums. Do they mean that all of those stadiums have events?
Okay, if all the PSL hasn't sanctioned some of them don't fall, aren't up to scratch, up to the standard.
Okay, no, that's understandable. But what's killing football as a whole in South Africa is this thing, not necessarily football alone, but I just feel like everything, it's associating everything with politics. This thing has politics written all over it. If you support a certain political party or whatever, then there's certain things that it's gonna be very difficult for you to get. And that is the truth of the matter in South Africa, unfortunately, but that is true. So if you follow certain people, certain things are just gonna be, you're gonna have to work a little bit extra hard to get them. So I agree with Intel. I think this is sabotage, man. This is sabotage. You can see it's okay. Cape Town Spurs doesn't have a stadium. What about Stellenbosch? Instead of taking the Cape Town derby to another province, let's come up with plan B. Stellenbosch host the match.
Apparently, Lebona, they've got something on that day. The stadium is hosting something on that day.
Is it important? Is it more important than the match?
Clearly, everything else is.
Hence, I said, remember when we spoke about? I remember there's a time where yesterday we were speaking about Petrus Motsepe and whatever, and I said on the comments, I said the guy has a vision. He owns the club. Okay, now the son, yeah, but we know the guy owns the club, but the guy has a vision because look at him. I think he's the only chairman in all of our teams in the PSL. He's the only chairman working so hard in making sure that at the end of the day, Mamelodi Sundowns are gonna own the stadium. He's the only chairman. The other chairmen just want to chow the money, man. They're not even seeing tomorrow. There's no vision whatsoever. They just want to get the millions and eat it, and it just, it's so sad, man. It's so sad.
Should this situation spark the conversation about teams owning stadiums? And maybe if teams can't own stadiums, shouldn't the PSL or SAFA or somebody, one of the federations, maybe own 3, 4, 5 stadiums for maybe the express situation where, you know what, you guys don't have a stadium available. DHL stadium is not yours. This one is not yours. Come and play by our stadiums. Shouldn't we start looking into those things? And why haven't we looked into those things before?
I think we haven't looked at those things before because the big teams, the so-called big teams, have never encountered such a problem. It's like now there's a problem, but what's Cape Town Spurs? It's not even on the news. The people who are reporting that, it's only people who are concerned, like you. I haven't seen a report of that on the news, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been headlines. We only hear it on the your social platforms or whatever. But the big teams have not been affected yet. I think we only wanna attend to a problem or maybe try to solve a problem only if the big teams, then it's when we're gonna shake up things. But I think because we have already realized that SAFA and PSL, there's no relationship whatsoever there. The two entities who are supposed to be working together, they're working against each other in a way. Okay, you guys who owns the chairmen of these clubs, guys, we're talking about people with money here. We're talking about people with resources here. Let's come up with this thing. Let's do this. Are they not seeing what Petrus Motsepe is doing or what Mamelodi Sundowns is doing? Let's move towards that direction. Yes.
But again, let's take it back one more step. 2010, we built all these stadiums. But I think it's Apollo. It's going to make South African football better. Yada, 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 yada. And now we're sitting in a situation where, again, when it's supposed to be making it easier for our football, now we're sitting in a situation where these guys don't have to. Think about the stadiums they're going to. Princess Makoko, I think they said Herikwala, over in KZN. They're not even 2010 World Cup stadiums, for example. Surely this is the time when Abu Moses Mapida and those stadiums could have been roped in and said, "Aye, guys, we need to take precedence at the very least in these stadiums." Why then did they agree to some of these rules that don't make sense, some of these agreements that they've made?
I think you know what happened with 2010. What happened was excitement. I think the excitement of having all this money, because remember when you host, you get this amount of money that you don't even know what you want to do with it. So they just use their money to do whatever they wanted to do. Okay, the stadiums are here, they're beautiful, we can see them, but how often do they get used? What is the point if we're not gonna? Because look at the money. How much is it to rent a stadium? It's
They said
ridiculous. The prices are
200,000 now, but then more FNB are like 5.
yeah, FNB are like, and then you host an event, and then they took the stadium. The last time they took the stadium, they brought a whole lot of sand there. There was just a whole mess at FNB Stadium. Remember? Why the leadership? Who like it doesn't look like.
I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
Let me go to Theo quickly. Theo, how are you, my brother? Welcome.
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Uti?
I'm fine, my brother. I'm fine. Now we're sitting with a situation. SuperSport is playing in Polokwane. Cape Town Spurs can't find the stadium. Kodwa imali phumile ba erecta ma stadium basilethela what basitshela ukuthi this is for us. What mara naku ama-team wethu when they need them awekho ama-stadium. What do you think about what's happening, man, with Cape Town Spurs?
There's a song that says money, 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 money. So actually, what happens is money talks and bullshit walks. Sorry for the language. So it's Mzansi, it's Mzansi, whether you like it or not. You know, this thing is like it's a follow up of your last question yesterday. Indaba Yamam Kaizer, Masipala mniki mali. Now it's stadiums, you know. This thing is exactly what we were saying yesterday. How come is politics being involved in football? And okay, we know there is supposed to be a certain partnership, but once there becomes a friendship, go by in king. So I think the situation is Cape Town, guys, whether we like it or not, they are approaching a festival. You know, and there are a lot of people that are coming over to visit the place, you know, I'm a tourist and all of that. So they want to make money. And sadly, it's your point exactly. In 2010, the monies came in to build stadiums, and stadiums they were built for soccer, not for entertainment. If you want to do an entertainment session, go and hire a field and then put your stuff there, and then you don't need to go to a stadium for that. You go to overseas. That's why Madrid built Bernabeu, guys. There's a reason why the biggest team in Europe for me, okay, Man United, but I say Madrid. Because you look at the stadium, guys, you would admire that. You look at, you know, Camp Nou. These things, man, whether we like it or not, guys, we had to face them one way or another. And you remember one time, the Chiefs had to play in FNP. They told us the stadium is not ready. The Galama Springboks. Springboks are funa and FNP.
There was a concert the other day. Remember concert Coldplay or something like that. The power lines were stolen.
So it's not something new, guys. We must not act as if it's something new. It's South Africa. You know, we know these people, they love money, guys. They love money. So unless our football association, which is SAFA in this case, wakes up, but it goes back to the point that I made yesterday. Dori Jordan is a premier somewhere. He's a SAFA management. One way or another, they're going to try and bring politics in soccer. So if we are being led by someone who's not busy with politics, I bet just specifically in soccer. That's why, for an example, you go to rap, you go to cricket, you wouldn't find this such mess. Like Abanbe Rap, they want nothing to do with politics. That's why Kolabalung Lapa, Agnam feel Abelung about your donation. Even the cricket is the very same thing, but because it's soccer, we want to relate it to politics and all of that. That's why we are in this situation. But sadly, I don't want to lie to you, whether you like it or not, unless ISAFA intervenes. PSL has no say, guys. We can talk about PSL. PSL, there's no way they're going to go to municipality and force them to host the game. Because it's obvious they don't want to host this game. There is a politics as Shilo. There is a sabotage. But the truth of the matter is, imagine how crazy it is at Durban, Bazo host the Chiefs and the Pirates, for an example. Imagine, just imagine that. It doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't make sense. So it's just confounded. I don't want to lie to you.
Isn't it time we have the conversation about proper ownership? because I hear people when they're speaking about in Sundowns guys doesn't own Loftus. They don't own a part of Loftus.
Nothing.
Motsepe
They
owns
don't.
a share in the Blue Bulls
Yes.
company.
Share.
It's not Sundowns, but it's fine.
Yes.
Kaizer Chiefs years ago, they were going to build a stadium at Rustenburg, I think it was, and we haven't heard from that. Isn't it time that, man, either our teams are on our stadium or EPSL or ISAFA will come in and say, Yazini, as the mother bodies, we're going to buy our stadium, I-2-3 or whatever, and then for express situations like this, City Yazini guys, come play, now Gunisekaya, come play these stadiums if Connie Concert or Monster Truck and Tonton it up. Shouldn't they start these conversations?
Okay, first of all, Mr. Uti, we need to be honest, guys. Stadiums, it's not building a stadium is not like building a wall. You wanna pump. You have to pump out money in that thing. We know. That's why Abanye and allegedly, I love the word yesterday. Allegedly, Abanye badly 150 million. The stadium is like nearly sprayed. You know, we know that. But abagabo shokota they are free basahamba langa phandle ngabe bathathele imali bakhe stadium se Chiefs, it would have made sense. So to get to that point of yours, for me I think, man, it's gonna take a lot of money. And PS isafa kuyimanje bakhala ngokuthi abanamali. I thank you Mr. Abuti Kutso. Yeah, ibombela. We know allegedly someone ate money asembombela nomngane wakhe. But ngibekisele nje a simple statement. Guys, why don't they hire a stadium for 3 years? Linkback said Cape Town Spurs. You wanna play wherever, in point, what Green Point, whatever. You hire a stadium for 3 years. You sign a contract for 3 years. You understand? You make sure that stadium every game you will go and play there. Because I don't wanna lie to you, or build the stadium, it's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money, and a lot of teams, even in PSL right now, in league 15 million, the stadium is plus or minus 200 million or 250 million. So it's not gonna happen. But if you can like Jingbexel and Jenge Chiefs, we will feature something that Chiefs should have done by now. In Chiefs, they go straight, for an example, to FNP. They sign a contract with them and tell them, guys, 3 years, every game Chiefs is gonna be played here. Simple. You do that, you make sure these problems are not gonna happen. But yabona leo ukuthi safa the PSL keep imali, not unless nangabe umtsipe ababole that's not gonna happen. I don't wanna lie to you.
Wasn't that supposed to be the way I understood it? Wasn't that supposed to be the deal in 2010? Because Moses Mapida, my stadium. And they told us that was meant to help South African football. But now South African football
and
team.
I remember one time. I remember one time they said this new stadium kumele sivaleke. Sangasavaleka zange sabuza ukuthi maye ngoba singavaleki kwenzakalani imali yethu. Yabo, but to tell you the truth, Mr. OT, it's exactly the point. Your municipality, your government being involved where they should not be involved. Ebola should be separate from like state issues. Like this, ball should be actually a different entity. And then municipality, they can fund there and there. They can bring certain things there and there, but they should not take over because stadiums were supposed to be managed. I can make an example, man, a pretty example. In my area, there is a park that is being owned by a municipality. But from time to time, that park is always, they will hire people. I mean, people will come and hire the park for almost 2 years. And then that means now in a park, you have to pay to go in a park. So imagine now in a state whereby you are having a football field. You know, a football field is something that's supposed to be taken very serious than just a park or a swimming pool. It's supposed to be something like Bafana should not be struggling to go to a Polokwane, for an example, and host a game there. Bafana should not be struggling to go to a Northwest and host a game there. But for that to happen, it shows Uguti. Actually, that means must make it in simple terms. In 2010 was brought by Bafana. 2010 was brought for Bafana because it's football related. They pump money for stadiums, but now if those stadiums are not going to be used for football related issues, that means football related issues must come secondary. Then that shows we're being lied to. Hey,
Theo, Kuma, how are you, my brother?
I'm sure. Sorry I came late, buddy.
No stress, no stress. So, Cape Town Spurs is struggling to find a stadium for their game versus Stellenbosch on the 28th. It turns out all of the stadiums, or most of the stadiums in Cape Town, are being used for other things, concerts and things like that. Athlone is a concert, DHL is a game, and then they've been trying to get a stadium. Danny Craven, where Stellenbosch is from, they've got an event happening at their stadium. It looks like they're going to have to go all the way to KZN, to Princess Makoko, to get a game. So my question is, what's the point of the 2010 bars and stadiums and all of that if our teams in the PSL are struggling to find stadiums, and it seems as though other things are taking precedence? What do you think about this situation?
Mara, we also have ourselves to blame as the fans. The reason why we're having such problems is because, one, the problem is we can't even fill up a normal game unless Pirate is playing with Chiefs or Sundowns. So if every week we could fill up stadiums with football fans, then they shouldn't be having such problems. As you know, or like to actually keep a stadium running to and also to make maintenance and stuff, stadiums have to be creative by like using them as concert venues. In fact, when they were proposing stadiums before the 2010 World Cup, they did say in their proposal, most of them, like Cape Town Stadium and MABHUTI, like in their proposal, they said that it's gonna be a mixed use facility. So that was the intent, because they know it wouldn't be sustainable if it was only used for football matches only. You know, in SA, people money talks. And if you're gonna take the issue of money aside, you have people work on calendars. You know, you find out because you can't use Cape Town Stadium or the Craven Stadium. Those things have been booked well in advance. So that could also be the other issue why Cape Town Spurs is struggling to find a venue as well.
But shouldn't they be? Why didn't SAFA, I don't know, in PSL, why didn't they come to an agreement when they built these stadiums? Good guys, first come, first serve, Kipolo. Because now even Bafana is having the same problems. Supersport is playing in Polokwane currently. There's so many issues that are arising from this. And you ask the question, were these things built for these concerts? Because it seems that it's only built for these concerts, and it seems as though local football, whether they can fill up a stadium or not, these teams pay the money. Shouldn't there be something that should have been agreed upon there?
I understand. I can understand both sides. But the fundamental part, none of these teams besides Sundowns own their own stadiums. You know?
Sundowns doesn't own a stadium, guys.
Yeah, but you understand, or the shares, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to be taking
Motsepe has shares, guys. Motsepe has shares. Why Sundowns?
Yeah, and he's also going to, okay, but
technically, okay, if we're being super technical, the Bulls technically doesn't own the stadium. Writing broke it down. That they've got a 99-year lease with the municipality. So if the Bulls and those teams can go and do those things, why not SAFA? And should we be speaking about those type of deals, or maybe ownership at an association level, where they say, as SAFA and the PSL, we've got 2 or 3 stadiums that are ours, where first preference will be football, especially for these situations. Shouldn't we be speaking about those things?
We should. As I was saying before, I digressed a bit. My brother, it takes money to operate these stadiums. And obviously, as stadium management, although the stadium was meant for football stuff primarily, but I have to think of the cost to maintain such structures. And you know,
they can host their concerts. They can host their concerts, Mara. First come, first serve, Kipolo. That's what I'm getting to.
Happy concert has been planned for 2 years, and you know with SAFA and PSL, sometimes the games can be postponed, or maybe it was like last minute planning for a game. So why would you cancel a concert to watch a Cape Town SPURS that's gonna have 2,000 people if you like there at the stadium?
Because it's a football stadium. It's not a concert stadium. I say
my brother.
Why was that stadium?
Exactly,
Why was the stadium there? Why was the stadium? How did the stadium get there? Was it because of these concerts, or was it because of football? Because even Bafana can't get that one. PSL can't go. Bafana's Safa's complaining about taking games to other provinces, and I'm like, oh, but guys, you guys build stadiums. Surely there should be a clause there that says, listen, when Bafana's playing, his stadium's corner. Some of the stadiums don't even have anything happening, but they just say it's too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, that is why Moses Mabhida is like the capital stadium for the cup games. Because Moses Mabhida, they pay the two teams, nah? They play for their accommodation, they pay for their flights, they pay them for appearance fee. They know it's going to do wonders. So a lot of these municipalities do not want to fork out the bill for Bafana Bafana. That is why they're always playing here. They're always playing here in Orlando. It's always available for them, it seems. So it's not a problem of a stadium. It all boils down to finances and who's willing to pay them to come and play in their province.
Because stadiums are Safa. Well, in part by Safa. Doesn't make sense?
You can get the stadium, but who's going to pay for security? Who's going to pay for accommodation?
The municipality, because we gave you a stadium.
Why must they pay?
Because we gave you a stadium. There's no stadium.
But our municipality, Maspala, as a SAFA, PSL.
No, I'm saying
its citizens.
That's what I'm saying, More. For me, if I was SAFA, in my negotiations when I was building the stadiums, I would have gone to every municipality in the country and said, guys, we've got this offer, but here are our deals. Our deal is that when Bafana is called to play in this game, when PSL teams are called to play in these things, we are going to give you a stadium that's going to be able to give you concerts, all of those things that people talk about. But our core thing is when we say, Guti, 28th October, this person is playing, we expect that stadium to be available to us and for you to cover those costs. That's how I would have negotiated it, because I would have gone to every municipality, just like they say they go to when they say they've got a game. So how is it that you build these stadiums and you do all that stuff, but then guys, we can't afford it. Oh, then what was the stadium for? Because Nelite gets a polo, improving South African, what. And then is the Nyoga apparently hit FNB until there's going to be Monster Tonton a week later.
Yeah, but then again, you assume who the municipalities ask for the stadiums. We don't know what happened for them to have them there. But like Rahore, early provincial or national, because we've got a diverse country, there should be a stadium in every province. Do you get
that's fine. But municipalities within the province, I would have petitioned them. If it was me, I would have petitioned them. Good, guys, we've got a tender. Do you want this stadium in your town? What are you going to give me? That's what the teams in the NFL do.
Okay, no, it makes sense. Now you are better football administrator than the current crop then, I guess. But then again, I wanna using municipal money. There are so many hoops that you have to go through, balances, financial stuff, and things like this. But we can't sponsor a football event, especially a soccer, go Bloemfontein. I want to spend so much money. I want, like there's so much things they can do with their money just for football.
Okay, cool. Guys, for time, I'm going to move on to the next one. The next topic. You know what? I'm seeing that there aren't people in line, so I'm going to keep the same panel in and Edu Belile. Let me move on to the next topic. The next topic, MABHUTI KHENYEZA has come out and said some things, and I want your guys' opinion on this. I'm going to read you the topic as usual, the article. Then I want you to chime in on this. So, let's see. Golden Arrows coach MABHUTI KHENYEZA has disclosed the advantages of local coaches have over the European counterparts in the PSL. KHENYEZA is mentoring Abafana Bestende as sole head coach after his former colleague, Coach Vusmuzi Vilagazi, whom he was the co-coach with, left the club last month. He believes local coaches should be doing better than the European tacticians who know less about SA players. According to the former Kaizer Chiefs forward, the local coaches are privileged to know the backgrounds, families, cultures, and good and bad times of local players. With these, KHENYEZA says SA-born coaches have everything to get the best out of players. All in all, I've been playing football for a very long time. I played more than 15 years at the highest level, and I understand everything, says KHENYEZA. I understand not only playing, but also the backgrounds of the players, where they come from, the culture, because those things are important when you're dealing with the players. And then their upbringing is not something new. If a coach from Europe can do it here, we as local coaches have a big advantage, because sometimes you get a coach, you get to coach a player that you knew when they were still 10 years old. When you know their families, when you know their ups and downs, when you know where they're coming from, you know where they're coming from. That's why I'm saying the seat can be new, but it's not new to me because I've been involved in this for a very long time. So this brings me to what I want to speak about today in this segment, where we're speaking about our local coaches. Yes, he's saying that there's advantages and everybody knows everything and we are corner and all of that stuff. But again, outside of Sundowns, outside of I guess Pirates done it, outside of a handful of local coaches, outside of Gavin, a lot of the local coaches struggle in the league. And a lot of the European coaches, look at Jose Rivero, arrived, no preseason, no signings, no nothing, dropped in 1-2 trophies, you know. You can look back at Abo Zimbabwe, all of the Chiefs coaches that have come in, Abo Vemezovic and all those guys, Abo Papic. They tend to do well and better than our guys, but our guys say that they have these advantages. So I want to speak about that, Guti. What exactly is holding our local coaches back, and what exactly makes European coaches, quote unquote, better at managing these things? Let me start with Rivo. Rivo, MABHUTI KHENYEZA is telling us that local coaches have all of the advantages. Mara, you don't see it.
We don't see it because I think the style of football we play, remember, it goes back to him. Who coached him? Was he coached by a local coach? MABHUTI KHENYEZA. Let's start there. And then we go to the disrespect and the lack of we don't have trust in our local coaches. It's been a while. I think what he's saying is partly true, but it's not entirely true. But if you have a conversation for I'm gonna speak about Pirates for an example, because that's the team that I. So with Pirates, there's a lot of players. If you speak to them and you kind of try to speak to them and find out exactly where their head is at and whatever, it's easy for them when they look at Mnikazi. They see like a father figure. So he's there as this person who's gonna come to you and speak isiZulu and be like Ubaba. We understand. Where else the coach is from wherever, you have to respect him. It's that thing you would see when coaches come from outside, you kind of have to impress him to say, okay, I need to pull up my socks, I need to put my A game because this person doesn't know me. But if it's a local coach, you just relax and say, he's been watching me most. Why do I have to, that attitude you're gonna have that type of attitude even as the fans. To be honest with you, even as the fans, we don't give our local coaches fair chance. The fans, we start, look at Ntegi. What are you guys doing to him? It's like, Amanza Bandayo, you understand? Look at Zwane, he went through the same thing. Look at Rulani at Pirates. Rulani went the same thing while he was still at Pirates. So it's just it's from there at the top. Even the owners and everything, we just don't have the trust in our in our local coaches.
But are we hiding behind the fans? Because Jose Rivero arrived here, but he plama. He did his job, he won his 2 trophies. Manje, lababanye, that we're saying we wanna give them a chance. Jose Rivero got one, he got 1 season. You know, and he did the job. For example, I'm going to use him as an example, right?
As an example, yeah.
Yeah, whereas you look at Atazwani, he got a season, didn't really take us anywhere. Unseki, we have yet to see, but you could argue that he's going through similar to what Rivero has gone through. Do we, because we are familiar to them, want to give them this time, whereas these other guys, it's job. I have to get there.
Yeah.
I have to win the trophies. Gucci, bang busy plama, good bafuna sign, but I have to know how to do the job. Doesn't that play into it?
It does play into it. And also, there's coaches that are going to tell you, Gutimina, this is my job. If there's one thing about Rivero knows what he came to do at Orlando Pirates. His emotional intelligence, his ability to answer the questions sometimes. And Rivero is just a different type of breed. And I think if there's one thing about Dr. Ivan Koza, if there's one thing you can give to him is getting the right coaches. Look at Micho as well. Micho was exactly like him, almost the same like him. We named him, they named him whatever and everything. But when it comes to our local, our local, no, it's not make sure.
So
It's not make sure.
I want to speak on something that he said. So he said that he knows their families, he knows all the stuff, the struggle, what. How much
Yes.
does that affect the decisions that our local coaches make in your eyes? Because it feels as though those European coaches, their advantage is that I don't know your family. I don't know where you come from. I don't know anything about that. When I look at my team, I look at them as who is the best player for what I need them to do, and I play them. Whereas abanye yazi ngikhumbula umamkhize lapha ekhaya ukuthi uthini yazi ugogo yazi ungitshelile ukuthi umfana kumele adlale. Maybe do those things play into this, and can it be a weakness?
It is a weakness because, for an example, if you're gonna know the situation yasekhaya, there's a very heartbreaking story of this guy, Goodman Musele. Goodman Musele was broken inside, but when he went into the pitch, the guy was something else. So Rivero came in. The guy was marvelous on the pitch. So Rivero came in and whatever. He had a situation at home, but because Jose does not know him, he played him. He said, listen, you came here to play, you came here to do your job, and he would play him. Whenever he got the chance to play, the guy would perform. But if it was somebody from local who understand what the guy was going through, I don't think the guy would have gotten a chance to actually play. They would have just said, no, you have issues, we're gonna book you therapy and whatnot. You're not gonna play now. You understand? We have that thing as sympathy with us. We have that thing as sympathy, and it's natural. But with those guys, when you have to work, you have to work. They don't have that thing. Lona, sympathy. Look at this guy, our goalkeeper, Mponchani. The day you guys scored that, who's that guy? Marto Mang, Okorling that goal.
Yes. Halfway, I remember it.
We didn't know that the guy, his son drowned in a swimming pool when he played that match. You understand? So, but if it was a local coach, then there was gonna be that thing. We know what he's going through. He can't go into the game and whatnot. So it has a disadvantage and it has an advantage. Yeah.
Okay. Let me bring it to Theo. Theo, what do you say about these words, KHENYEZA? Ngoba he's saying that local coaches have advantages and all of that stuff. But must pay record. You only a good local coach Magu Sundowns. You only a good local coach Magu Supersport or Repeat Vest or Santos. It's a handful and Nabo by 2. What do you think about what he said about these advantages?
As he reminded me of Bruce last week. When things are going well, he talks nice. When things is better, he blames the PSL. MABHUTI nama exam Kanyela. So ukuluma mnandi 3 games down the line. You're no, this football, what, is Kumela Hambe. But I think the big difference, when it comes to overseas coaches and our coaches, guys, let's not lie, man. EPSL has been dominated by overseas coaches. They've came in, some of them they've produced about Dr. Kumalo, Menabo Pule, we can count a lot of star players that they've been produced by those coaches, brought the best out of them, made them versatile. You talk about Duvilagas, the short guy, that guy at Pirates was a machine, guys. He could play in any position. If you say to me that it was not a coach that struck that, then I am as. But another thing that we need to also realize and understand about football, guys, football is a profession, guys. It's a profession more than anything. So you need to bring someone who's professional as well. Not because someone who has experience. Yes, you have played. Yes, you have done things in the field. You understand. When I was listening to him Andile on the radio, he said something very important. They even called Aboye Lutulunyane. I think they were in they were in Botswana, bafunda about something because they are studying lentils of coaching. I don't know. They need to get class A, I think, or something. So there's something I should you could say. There's a lot of things that we don't know about football. There's a lot of things that we thought we knew. Because we've played soccer, we have been around coaches that are good. Imagine, man, having a guy like Stuart Baxter, who is your mentor. So there are certain things that you learn from them. But here you're coming up and saying there's a lot that we still have to learn. There's a lot that, we're still not aware of when it comes to football and player management, and how to manage your technical team. So for me, I understand MABHUTI, guys. He's coaching, he's in ROC, he's doing well so far. They just fired the coach, they brought him in. So asimnike isikhathi naye simbone ukuthi can he handle the heat after some time, and also something that is very crucial when it comes to Makunyong coach Pitso, guys. Upitso, there's a difference between a good coach, a best coach, and a coach. Pitso was one of our coaches at some time.
Was a
Super
manager.
Sport. We said he's a coach. Yeah, he was a manager. Yes, I love that word. And then when you brought him to his Sundowns, we saw his qualities, we saw his skill as a coach, we saw the way he managed his team, we saw the way he went beyond just telling players with the score, passer, for him to even take, I'll always make this statement, for him to bring Upesita to your first team and take him back, it showed you, Gucci, this guy is not just there to bring players and say, I've brought Banban. No, he wants players to do well. That's why when he took him back, and then when he brought him back, he was a monster. That's why I'm saying he was a manager at that point. He was the best coach. That's why he went to Al Ali, and he was just phenomenal. So for me, MABHUTI is far-fetching, guys. MABHUTI is saying what he's saying because he's doing well. And I'm not saying I don't want South African coaches to succeed. I do, but they need to do a lot. They need to learn a lot, and they need to expose themselves to a lot of things. So I don't want to lie to you. He's far-fetching. He has good comments. I understand and I love that. But guys, football is a profession nonetheless. If you come in as a coach, we don't just need you to be there just a coach. Manage the players as well.
How much of this as well is, what is one beskalangan what as well? Beskalangan favoritism, manish? Beskalangan favoritism. So when we speak about them, how much does, knowing so much about players and knowing our background and knowing all of that stuff, can it be a weakness, Guti? Maybe the decisions you're making are made off of knowing that, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Whereas European coach, uyafika, ubona abantu, akabazi ukuthi ubuya phi, ukhule phi, ugogo wakho akanda, he comes here to do a job. How much of that does that play into this? Because it's the same as Maskulma Ngabo. As South Africans, when we speak about our coaching, we say, I'm a coach, they need time, they need to do this because siyamazi atazwana. But then Makfigu Rivero, what? How much does that play into this thing and the decision making?
But it also shows we will never be our management staffs, That's why I think, you go to Chiefs, you go to Pirates, you go to Sundowns. Guys, those management people have done a lot for South African football. We can say whatever you want to say, for Kaizer to go there and fetch that guy, handpick him. When I say handpick, there were many coaches who could have chosen. He went and picked that guy, brought him to South Africa. First season, this guy win 2 trophies. and you go to Chiefs, guys. For me, my personal opinion, I know, as far as Ngaban, for me personally, we didn't give Atazwane a chance, guys. I don't want to lie to you. We didn't give him enough chance. You look at, I always emphasize what Pito said about Atazwane, man. Pito said this guy needs time. This guy has a lot that he can offer South African football. But then, because Angithi Nama fans, we just want results. We don't care about what the guy is doing. You look at Njabulo Plom. You look at Aboba and Lomfana Lomutelo, Ungezane. Like there are many players that guy was mentoring multi-choice disc. When he brought them here, we saw these guys can compete in Nabotemba Zwane. These guys can compete, with Abon player Buya Peshe. But for me personally, I think I'm a South African player, I'm coaches, as much as they can be lenient, also they need to be aggressive at certain part. That's one I think what became, in a downfall for him. I think he was just he couldn't handle the pressure. Firstly, second season you saw this guy now is under pressure. He was not able to take the pressure well in. Whereas you find a guy like Midindop, that guy. Will stick to his plan. Season is your pela. Nangabi team we mix relegation. You hamba and strategy sake atandunga is not gonna change. So I think we need something like that when it comes to our coaches. If we can never
are we not allowing these guys to hide behind the fans? And I like that we have Uchozi Rivero as an example. Now Uchozi Rivero, no preseason,
No.
they drop in. Bambiza amaplama bangamfuni singamazi aziwinela amatrophy wakhe now all of a sudden Pirates fans love him sonke were referencing him mara masibheka abo Arthur for example labona use Arthur as an example Arthur came in finished number 5 mara sikhalela isikhathi aren't these things earned ngoba we don't say the same about the European guys. Bangena bona they do the kuthi ama-fans ayakhuluma uthi ama-fans ayakhalama uthi ama-fans ayenzani abanandaba they've come for a job.
I can make an example now. I love the guy, man, by the way. I don't know. I know he plays stupid football, but I love his mentality. Midindope, we gave him a chance at Chiefs last season. I promise you Chiefs were going to compete for the league. But I know others are going to think I'm crazy. I will tell you why I think so. This guy, what he's good at. That's why I'm referencing him. No Zwane, no Nalo Pirates, Le Plamba, Le Pirates, Le Luina, Ama Trophy under carpet. There's something I enjoy this guy. When you have a winning mentality, you build a team around your winning structure. Guti man keep banbani, fuck banbani, I'm gonna get a goal. No maganjan. No mangamala pepalin is gonna try and make something. I remember one time listening to Drogba talking about Mourinho. I think they were playing against the Imen United final. He said Mourinho told him, Guti, stay on the last pole, don't move. Every time when Baba Nepola on the right flag, stay on the last pole. Don't come in the middle or even the near. You're going to score a goal. He did that for I think the most part. And then second half, they did a cross. And he was just standing there. He just headed the ball. And it's like, how did you know? Mourinho said, no, because I know your strength and I know your weaknesses. Where now, if you have to head the ball from a certain distance, go by a challenge. So that's why I'm saying when you come to South African football or South African coaches, you find that they just want to manage games, but they don't want to manage players. They don't want to manage the quality that they get from a certain player. So for me, Uzwani downfall, when he got to Chiefs, he was told, Guti, no man, do whatever you want. We back you. We are here for you. And Uzwane was like, okay, let me experiment. But not knowing what he's experimenting on his own downfall. Because after his experiments, all of a sudden they turned on him. They put Unteki. And you see Unteki now is a struggle, guys. Let's be honest. Unteki is a struggle for a coach that has been there for the reason that he was there for 3 seasons. Unteki. He should have been doing better by now. 3 seasons you are there in the team, you should be doing better. But when it comes to Iplamba got in there, he got a team that was solid, guys. We need to be honest. Pirates was already put together. He just got in, took few players, Wafagama Spicing, and then boom, things were happening for him. Uzwane had to start the team from scratch. Uzwane, even though Pirates and Downs, guys, he got a team as a Pele. We need to be honest.
Was 6 years at Chiefs. He's been 6 years at Chiefs as an assistant coach. Are we making excuses for
That's
them?
the problem. I'm not making excuses, but okay. Remember Pizzo for Sundowns, guys. Remember Pizzo at Sundowns. It took him time. South African coaches need time. We need to admit that. I'm a foreign coaches when they get to a team, they already have a plan.
Pizzo and Zwane were two different things, man.
But Dangiti, if he was given time, we don't know what could have panned out. If you gave him enough time, he would have surprised us.
Yabona mina ngithanda la ngizolanda umuntu eSerbia. He's gonna come here and just one season, no time, no nothing. Kumo, what do you say about this topic? Local coaches, MABHUTI KHENYEZA has spoken about local coaches having advantages, but up to this point, it doesn't seem like the advantages pan out for them if they're not at certain teams.
He's right. The advantage that local coaches have is because they can speak Lebongezana. Ngezana can't even say philosophy. So get language fella. That's the advantage that these guys have. No, listen, like you can be a local coach,
Hello, yeah.
Coach, Can I?
I don't know what's happening. Can you hear me?
Wait, let me turn off.
Are you with me, Kumo? Okay, I'll come back, Kumo. I'm going to come back to you. Let me bring you Velile. Velile, how are you, my brother?
I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Are you back? What's happening? Okay, Velile, I'm going to come to you. Kumo, yeah, you can carry on. You just cut there for a little bit.
Yeah, someone tried to call me. So, yeah, as I was saying, like local coach, but do you also have the qualifications? Do you have KEV ratings or UEFA ratings? Because those things they matter. Because like let's say you take a team like Usutu or whatever, for example, I think like there's a rule, like I stand to be corrected. Like you can't coach that team if you don't have certain qualifications. And the other thing, advantage local coaches, they know the culture, they're part of the system, they've played the same football with the local guys. Now they've retired under mentorship of a local coach, so they develop their habits, so everything becomes complacent. So when you get someone from overseas who has different views and fresh ideas, that is why normally they seem like they're doing great. Because no one knows how they play. And in advantage because it's a different set of style from them. So advantage, it can, Maralwena as a local coach, like you need to educate yourself, like you need to adopt other forms of playing. Not everyone should anticipate and know, we're going to defend this way, we're going to play against you this way, and this is what you're going to do. Like, prefer some form of surprise. So that is why Bomokwena, they always follow Pep Guardiola. You make fun of him, but his style of play is different compared to the style of play at PSL, because why Oliver Manchester City, you can call him a fanboy, Mara. It's what we need, something different. And he's a local player. If you can adopt the things that he does, like by studying the football, by getting the qualifications, then advantage, it can more than just language.
But then is it also not just about qualifications? For me, part of the problem, or not part of the problem, what can be a weakness is you come into this team, you know the players, you know their backgrounds, you know all this stuff. Can that get in the way of decision making? Whereas sometimes if I don't know you, I don't, not necessarily I don't care, but I haven't gone through your experiences, I haven't done all that stuff. Me, I'm coming in to do a job, I look at you as you are, I put you in as you are. Do those things play into it?
Yeah, that's emotional baggage, I get. It does, because sometimes when you see a player, he's not performing and you bench him, but because of your relationship that you have with this player, maybe you are former teammates or you grew up together or you have some form of relationship, you can't be professional because of you are scared. If I be professional and I bench you or I sell you, then our relationship is going to be strained. So when someone doesn't have any emotional ties to the team, they do perform better. Hence why in business, but never employ your siblings or family or friends, because it never ends well. I think it's the same concept that we should also apply here at home in the PSL league.
Okay. Velile, how are you, my brother?
Ngiyaphila kunjani mfowethu?
Right. Nangu ukhulumile
Mm.
uMabhuti athi no, local coaches have an advantage because they understand things. Kodwa, when you look at the
Yeah.
records, if your name is not Kevin Hunt, if you haven't been coaching in Sundowns, local coaches seem to struggle.
Asiqale lapha emuva mntakababa. Ukuthi why niphatheka kabi abantu babenza umsebenzi wabo. If the city of Cape Town is doing their job properly to allocate the value according to the way it booked. Wait.
Sivulile lapho.
Kahle bafu.
Very quickly.
Yeah, that's why ngifuna ukudlula quickly. Abantu abenza umsebenzi wabo banenkinga nabo because they've allocated space for nina decide ukulontsha amakhapu manje nicela uzobhukha manje thina sibhukhile sifuna ukwenza ifestival nini ayisebenzi kanjalo. Bukha in time istadium esakho mntu kusebenza kanjalo nje. Asina stadium, istadium is owned by municipality and basigana ngendlela sabanika thina nge-2010 sabanika amaqeda ukuzakha.
That's why it's
So we reap what we sow. Ngithi asicabangeli phambili sicabangela la eduze njalo. So kulungile. Yeah.
Okay, kutshela-ke kale ndaba kaMabhuti.
Yabona uMabhuti ngasho ngithi uqinisile akaqinisanga ne. Because mawuthi uyayibheka, that's why if you look at most yabo abaningi the local coaches abayindawo. Because instead of you focusing, because you see, the sooner they realize these guys, if you are coaching a PSL team, you are coaching a professional team. Those guys there, they came to work. They're at work, and the sooner we stop taking a soccer players like Abafana, like they even call them Abafana. Those guys are old. The sooner we realize that they here to work and treat them like adults who are here to work, and then and also with local coaches, besides you understand what player libuyapi, emotional, feel as seven kind of thing. It's about result. You must know your work because if let's say I got grand emotional, what are you going to do? Was I close or yes, or up until maybe you refer that player to a psychologist to do that. But when in all, but I could understand because they will get away with this type of comments because if you look at it in South Africa and the standard of journalism is so poor because they don't ask those questions about press conference. If you go back to the issue of plumber. Plumber idumile yaze yafika nasendlebe zikacoach wePirate kuthiwa hey plumber uphosi manje uthina abantu bathi uyiplumber into zamaplumber namagama ezethu ama-supporter. You as a professional journalist, you shouldn't ask a coach. Those things are for us anyway. Since entertainer ngazo siyakwazi ukuthi hey ngale once ngathi bamthengisela umuntu we-omo ngathi lukile wenza i-omo nani. It's for us as supporters, not for professional journalists. The sooner that our journalists start asking real core questions, I think Omabhuti wouldn't have got away with just such comment easily. He needed to elaborate on it. What does he mean? Because most local coaches are with this mentality. Look at all of them. Owen Dagama, Cabo Zondo, then Mandisela. They don't even want to update themselves with the new trends and tactics of football. So, I'm not supporting it fully.
I wanna stand on that point. Is it an easy answer to just say, "Guti, Tinama fans were like this, were like that, were like that"? Whereas, as much noise as I can make on TikTok, they shouldn't be listening to me. I wonder if I heard in wherever Guti, Bamamele mina. I know nothing about running a team. So is it an easy answer to just say I'm a fans? Because then we need to ask them, Guti, Rivero Bambiza Maplama. He won. Whether he won by little wins and he did his job and won with the noise. Manjitina, we want to hide behind these guys and say, they need time, Tinama fans, is it an easy answer to just say Manama fans?
No, it's not that easy when I'm Tagababa, young Tom. But remember, also we need to separate it with the fans and the guys who are professional. Tina, some fans, we've got our own thinking methodology with how to watch soccer. And the footy, Tina, fans, we are allowed even to put that sort of entertainment. You can call each other names and do all sort of things. We are fans, young Tom. And you go to like kind of thing. Sigcina singalwanga futhi nokula siyahleka nakhona la ukhutshwa ngakhuluma thina tungezana akazi we will laugh at each other we kube mnandi sihleke but you cannot take that and put it like in a professional platform because there if you're a journalist, you are representing us. You need to ask questions that is probably if the coach give a detailed answer when it comes to tactics, and also the preparation of the game and how we have seen the game. But if you can look since this is Khalid and look at the press conferences now, that's why we told us sometimes when we to press conference.
Yeah.
Like it's just important because what type of questions are there by a professional journalist who can ask those things? And sometimes we want to go to TV and address, release a made a statement, that's it. Because they don't no questions as was a good way. About as good now we struggle session now to find yourself with already available for to implement in with this team. This is what I want and this is what I want to achieve at the end of the day. Most of the European coaches when they come here, they come to work. They are not here to nurse some feelings about. You look at the previous coaches who came here, about Paul Doleza, even Pet Dimitri, even Abu Palashos now.
Yeah.
Most of the coaches that they come here, Angel Kappa, go Sundowns, and where's that one who didn't take any nonsense? And isn't Henry Michel or what? Somewhere like that. Michel, yeah.
Yeah,
I
something
don't
like
remember
that.
Michel was, yeah, he was not even speaking English, was speaking French. Those guys, they come to work and they expect it when they get here, they hit the ground running. They don't have time to nest some feelings about. So the sooner with that, guys, the PSL side, we realize that the better with this is work. We take it seriously, hit the ground running. Journalists, please bring quality questions for when you get into it. Let's like TikTok, Naguma, Facebook, Nana Nezate supporters. We are allowed to call it normal ban whatsoever. We are allowed,
Whatever,
but not
yeah.
you. Yes. Tina, we are allowed, but not journalists. Imagine they could also a bunch of more to a plump. Like really. Aye.
No, thank you, really. No,
Okay.
I just think it's one of those things, guys. I want local coaches to succeed, but it goes back to that thing I've always said on this platform. I think you have to be a better manager than you are a coach. I think our coaches are very good at coaching, but there's certain teams in the PSL where you'll be allowed to experiment, you'll be allowed to find yourself, you'll be allowed to coach. But at other teams, at the other winning end, you have to get results, you know? I remember an interview where they spoke with Kevin Hunt. Kevin Hunt was like, guys, I would love to play beautiful football. I would love to put the ball on the ground and do all these things. But I understand my players, I understand my level, and I understand what I'm meant to do, right? So if I want the result, I have to play a certain way. That's why Kevin Hunt has been what Kevin Hunt is. And that's why as fans, a lot of the time, we don't rate him because he doesn't play beautiful football, right? But he understands what he needs to do to win. So our guys, in as much as it is an advantage to know the guys and to know the situations, right? A lot of the time, they let that color the decisions that they make, right? And they let things fans say and things, how they are protected and all of that stuff, they can hide behind it. But that's why he was not ready to coach Kaizer Chiefs. He was not ready. Whether fans wanted it, whether we didn't want it, he was not ready. Because like I said, at that level, coaching is the last of your problems. You have to deal with fans, media, mtaungs, this, that, managers. There's a reason why Pizzo was incredible when he went to Sundowns. It's because he paid his dues at Supersport. Then he went to Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana is a management job. You don't have the players for every day. You have to oversee all these things. So the moment he landed at Sundowns, and Kutso was actually right, he took over half of the season, half of the first season, saving them from relegation, taking them to 9th. Then the next season, he won the league. He's a manager. He understands how to run teams of people. There's a reason why when you go to Sundowns, you look at Rulani, you look at all these guys, they have teams under them, and the first thing you have to do is to be a manager. You get what I mean? That's what you're meant to do. So I feel our local coaches miss that. And our local coaches, as Uberila said now, They don't take it as seriously, or quote unquote, don't take it as seriously. Those guys are here to do a job. When I jump in here, right, when I get into this job, I sign with Pirates. My job is to win. It's not to develop players. It's not to coddle fans. It's not to do all that stuff. It's for me to come in, do my job. And a lot of the time, because these European coaches don't have any connection to South African football, when they get here, guys, it's job yenziwa. There's no excuses. There's no nothing. They get here, they do the job. Because why? When I don't have a job here and I'm fired, I'm going back to Serbia. They sit down, they do all that stuff. We spoke about it 10-10s. It's part of the reason we had the conversation about 10-10s as a coach and him becoming a manager and why he hasn't become a manager. Why he's still Kobo Baroka. Why he's still at certain places. Why they are comfortable to stay here. And if you look at the history of the PSL in the PSL era, guys, if you're not Gordon Iggesund, if you're not Gavin Hunt, if you're not Pitsom Simani, there hasn't been many local coaches that have been successful. Pitso, you can say Mangoba, I count them as Sundowns, but Oksalayo, there haven't been many local coaches that have been that successful within the league context. So all of the advantages he's talking about mean nothing. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for this panel. For the last segment, I just want to invite a familiar face on just to have a conversation about something. Char, who's here? Can you pin the topic for the day so when you come in late, you can easily understand what you're on about? It's this banner, the green and yellow banner is the topic. So if it will scroll through telling you what we are speaking about, and you'll be able to see it just there. So I put in that green and yellow banner that tells you what we're going to be speaking about. Okay, so let me just do this quickly. Let's speak about this. Let me just get Facebook on board as well. So guys, this past weekend, I got the chance to go to Orlando, right outside Orlando Stadium. Made me feel away as a Chiefs fan, but it's fine. To go and attend the MNTAMBO under 15 games. I've been speaking about them for a while now. Really incredible games. The reason why I have this picture up here is that that's Umfundo Vilakazi. For those who don't know, DDC player, with Chiefs. And he came to this tournament and was found at these tournaments and went from that tournament into what Chiefs and things like that. So I want to bring in Maronza, who I met this weekend to speak to us a little bit about the MNTAMBO games as one of the guys who have organized these games. Maronza, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Good and you, man. Good and you. Long time.
Hey, man. I've been hearing your voice for so long, but thank you so much for the invite. Maronza, can you tell us a little bit about this MNTAMBO under 15 tournament?
No, look, man. When we started this, basically it was just for the ward, like I'm a ward as a ward games actually, just to bring the Kasi together and all that. And when we started, I think we started with 8 teams only. That was eight teams. Then we were the first guys. Even Fundo Villagas was there, As you see him there, it was their first games actually. I think they went through to the final and they were beaten by Orlando Winter Roses. And then they lost in the final. Then we tried to say this thing was so interesting. Why can't we do more? The second season, I think we went for 16 teams, and we tried, to get sponsors and all. It was so difficult, but we began again, and then Winter Roses defended the winners again for the second time. And we went the third season, which was last year. We went for 32 teams. Then from 32 teams, Davidson All Stars won it from Davidson. It was the first time it went out of Soweto. Then this year, everybody was asking, want to come in. We got invites, like we got people from as far as KZN to come and play, far as Cape Town to come and play, far as Limpopo to come and play, Mpumalanga and all that. And we hosted 46 teams this season. So I think you came, then you took a trophy to Pretoria because
Yeah, no, it came
Hammanskraal
back with me.
Sports Academy won it for the first time. It was out of Davidson, and then it went to Hammanskraal.
As long as I see trophies leaving Orlando, I'm fine.
Yeah, so it went to Hammanskraal. So, but when we started this, it was just for that. But the good part about it, as you see him on the picture, after this tournament, he went and played the Phillies games after a week. Then boom, he was in Chiefs. Was playing for Chiefs. And the few guys actually who were spotted within that. Last season they took two players from Davidson All Stars to Kukuni. I think Hammanskraal they got two again. So there was very few of them. So there's you know what, now it's starting we're starting to get bigger and bigger and better now. You understand me? But it is a good thing actually. It's the best thing for us and for especially for Kasi football and all that. I think we are tired of these big guys playing and all that, the big names, maybe the Mambas and all those things. I think that for the grassroots level, it is very beautiful actually. So
And I
that's what we
like the
do.
organization, like the fact that you guys had sponsors. The fact I told Ronnie when I was there, Guti, I've been to many Kasi tournaments, Mara Negikala, for one Kasi tournament, or at least Kotem, that had a commentator, the big screen, that had all these things. And you could tell that, sponsors, all of that. In all of the tournaments that I played when I was little, there wasn't these things. Mara, it was so good to see you guys put these things together, because as we speak about here a lot of the times, hey, development, man, Ronnie, development in the country. There aren't this many places for kids to be seen that are not pay to play.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good initiative actually, because look, when it comes to sponsors, we have Aquila, which is sponsoring us from the beginning. We have SuperSport. We have SuperSport. Last 2 seasons we have them. Love PSL, the program we had them for 2 seasons, and we had Adidas as our sponsor, and now there's an insurance company that came now to sponsor us. So the guys with the truck with the big screen actually, they are from the youth. They deal with youth and all that. So they deal with drugs and all those things. When if somebody has a problem and all those things, social workers. So they're from the government side. So they bring that truck, the big truck, and all those things. So it is a good thing. And think about it, when we had Adidas is our sponsor. Aquila is our sponsor. Even Pirates, Bucks TV, when he was playing for Pirates, MNTAMBO, they were part of the sponsors. And we bring even the big guys, the PSL guys to come and watch the games. I think you saw Lucky Lokwati was there with his legends were there. The Makaringi was there this time around. Lepasa was there.
Erasmus was there the other day.
Erasmus was there. Yeah, there were so many. So think about it, if those young boys, when they're playing and then they are being the spectators are their role models. So that is what we are trying to bring to them, to say these are the guys, to watch them and all that. And one other thing that we do is that we bring our scouts from different teams, especially the Chiefs, Pirates, and whoever to come and spot them from there and then take them to their team. So as we see, Mfundo Vilakazi was taken from with the scouts from Chiefs and then went to Chiefs and all that. I think there's a guy who's playing for Pirates now. He's blonde. I think last time he painted his hair blue. He was playing. He was in the same team. I think it's Matlava. They call him Matlava, Linda Matlava, something. I forgot his surname. So basically, we're doing that. So I think because next season we're going for our 5th anniversary, we're going to go for 64 teams, and 64 teams or more than that, or 84. We'll go.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But it is very difficult. It is very, very difficult to organize a tournament. I don't wish anybody can do it because there's so many things within it. Preparing it take months. But this time that we did, because of this things of age cheating, we tried to use my SAFA as a document for us to check them. So it was easier for us to check. And this time around, it was so beautiful, to be honest. It was the best tournament that I ever organized with these guys, including Linda, his wife, Sia, and all those guys. So it was our best tournament because if you check the score, the only heavy score within within all the games, it was 4-0.
Yeah. But wait, before we go there, tell me about the ladies' side, because there's also a ladies' side that came into this.
Yeah. Basically what we did, right? We all the time we try to invite maybe, for example, under 17s to see if how we're going to make the tournament bigger, to deal with the under 17s and see. So this time around we invited ladies to come and play. So we invite 4 teams. Deep Blue Ladies, Mighty Ladies, United Ladies, and DK Ladies to come and play. So it is more to see if we can handle the ladies side, as soccer and all that, to see if we can open the umbrella for them to say, come in, let's see what we can do. So I think it was a nice thing also. The challenge was nice because there was no 8-0, 9-0, no. First on the first 2 games, it was 1-1 in penalties. One team won on penalties, and then the other game they won 1-0. So you see, and the final was 1-0. So the competition was there also within the ladies. So that was another part where it was so beautiful actually. So the Blue Ladies won this time around. It was their first. It was first time to introduce the ladies. So it was won by Deep Blue Ladies 1-0, beating Mighty Ladies.
Okay, no. Maronza, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for putting together these games because like we always speak about here, the development and things like that. So it's very good to see, man, people that are doing it outside, actually in the real world, putting in work.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much, man. It was nice seeing you, especially visiting his in Sagamabizela, that side. You saw how beautiful is that stadium. Let me not go there. But another thing, man, it is to be honest, I think we have to organize these games. One thing that I can mention to you is that the GDL itself, which is the Gauteng Development League, it has been played by players from outside the province, and I don't understand that. So we are saying, let's bring all the teams. Think about it. We had teams from Begasdal, Katlehong, Springs, Orange Farm, Loli, that side, right? Sidibeng side and all those things. So we had all the regions brought them together in one basket and say, let's see if Pretoria can play against Soweto. Let's see if Western can play against East Rand, and come and see. This is what we are trying to do. We bring in Gauteng, all the teams from Gauteng in one field, and let's see if they can compete. And when they start to compete, you start to see a different style of play. I want to show you. In the under 15s, under 13, under 17s, you can see total football because they're still young. That's where raw talent. It is not Avantabal Kibela Benza. No, they play total football. So the competition is there. So we that's what we did. Hence, you see the trophy went to Hamans Kral, better than Soweto. We don't say that better than us, but it was I think the final was between a Snake Park team, Kuza, versus Hammanskraal. So it was Soweto versus Pitori in the final. Last
and
year it
Pitori
was
won.
Hammanskraal.
Don't jump too far. Pitori won.
Okay, in Pretoria versus Soweto. So it was like that. Last year it was Vuta, which is Davidson, versus Soweto in the final. So you see now the competition is there. We want to see that. So we want to say the teams, man, especially the juniors, Gauteng has talent. Gauteng has talent. But I'm failing to understand why teams from Gauteng, they're not getting the exposure. Coaches, if a coach from Hammanskraal, right, or Pretoria can come to a tournament of 32 teams and go to final twice, is he not a good coach? Why do you have to go outside the province to go and look for coaches if they're here? That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to balance the thing, to say, bring everybody. Let's bring everybody together in one basket and see. And teams must come and watch them so that they can take them while they are fresh, you know? That's what we're trying to do.
No, Ronnie, thank you so much. Hi, yeah, no, I had a good time, even though the shadow of Orlando was over here, and as a Chiefs fan, they leave him riding. But thank you so much, Ronnie. But it was great meeting you. I wonder when I meet people. Rivo, I see Rivo says she was there, but she didn't come and say hi. But it's fine, next time. But thank you so much, Ronnie. You guys must keep doing these things, Libo Linda, because they're very important. But my brother, I hope this tournament carries on and gets even bigger.
Yeah, it's one last thing. Think about it. The individual awards this year.
Yeah.
The striker, the top goal scorer got a jersey from Lepas, a signed jersey. The defender of the tournament got a jersey from Happy Jail as a defender of the tournament, right? Including soccer boots and all that. And the goalkeeper of the tournament got gloves from Ofori, right?
Yeah.
Sign one. And the player of the tournament got a signed jersey from Fortune Makaring. So if you look at that, you're brushing your shoulders with somebody that is your role model within the tournament. That's what we're trying to do. We're bringing that vibe within the kids and all that, to say you can do it also. So that is our aim, actually.
Okay. No, Ronnie, thank you so much for joining me. I think I'm going to close the show there. Let me see. Kuto saying it's just pirates. Hey, maybe you must try get Malume Kuto assign something, Len.
I'll definitely get you a Tembazwani before you retire. I'll definitely do that. I promise you.
But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Ronnie, it was great meeting you. Thank you to everybody that was on the panel today, everybody that jumped on in the comments. Thank you to the YouTube people. Thank you to the Facebook people. As you can see, it's not just about talking about football in J. There are actual people in our communities that do a lot and actually help out with the game to actually find solutions. But thank you so much, guys. Tonight, I'm not going to be live at 8. I'm going to come on at 9. It's going to be a watch along of Bafana versus Ivory Coast. So join me tonight at 9. Then we can watch we can watch our national team. Ronnie, say ring score tonight.
Today, I think we're going to it's a draw in this one. I think 1-1.
1-1 draw.
Yeah. I think we'll score first. You know, but basically, the old man. I think last time I was listening. Actually, I didn't come in, but I was listening. Everybody's criticizing him. But I think whatever is cooking. As much as we are saying now, talking about the European coaches and all that, he's cooking something, he's trying something, and if we can get it right, we're going far. I'm telling you.
Me, I see a 1-1 tonight, but it's fine. Let me just thank the people that gave me that sent in gifts. Thank you, Makalima. Thank you, Senzo Kumo. Thank you, Pumi. For the gifts here. I'll see you guys then. Tonight, 9 o'clock.
Ovi, anybody who has a team anyway, right? If they have under 15, any province, please DM me. Like, let's talk. Let's see how we can bring other province to this province to come and play football. Simple as that. Anybody.
Send me details as well. Maybe an email
Thank
address.
you,
Then
man.
I'll also put it up.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much, man.
Sharp, really. Okay, guys. See you at 9.